Oh man, finally. Huh?
What?
What are you doing here?
What are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here.
No, what do you mean I'm not supposed to? I set this all up.
What?
I'm trying to use this right now. I'm trying to watch Markiplier. You already used this for your other presentation. Get something original. Get out of here.
Alright, Jesus.
Yeah!
Ah! What are the armed forces of Iran? The armed forces of Iran, also known as the armed forces of the Islamic Republic of Iran, are Iran's unified armed forces, consisting of the Army of the Islamic Republic of Iran, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, and law enforcement agencies. Iran's military power. In terms of number of active troops, Iran's military is the largest in the Middle East. The Iranian military consists of approximately 587,000 active duty soldiers and 200,000 reservists and trained soldiers who could be mobilized as needed, bringing the country's total military personnel to approximately 787,000 people. It has become these figures do not include law enforcement command and the Baziji. I wrote this whole script and I don't know how to say that word. Iran's weapons and where they come from. With a small amount of imports from Russia in the 1990s between the Iran-Iraq War, American systems has existed before the Islamic Revolution of 1979 and make up a majority of Iran's foreign armaments. Iranian officials claim that the majority of the nation's military gear is produced domestically, and by the 2000s. They were already exporting weapons. Oh, and by the 2000s, they were already exporting weapons. Iran has made significant investments in ambitious ballistics and cruise missile programs for long-range strike capability, and it's manufactured various types of firearms and ammunition, including tanks, armored vehicles, and drones, as well as various naval assets and aerial defense systems. What is the Revolutionary Guard, and what does it do? Created in the aftermath of the nation's revolution in 1979, the IRGC is an elite branch of the Iranian military, often operating within miles of the U.S. facilities. The unit is a vanguard of Iran's military actions in the area. It is also heavily present in Iraq and Syria, where Iranian troops and advisors have been instrumental in the battle against ISIS. The Revolutionary Army's power. The Council of Foreign Relations claims that the IRGC has more than 150,000 soldiers. These consist of special forces, ground forces, aviation, naval, and intelligence units. Although its main responsibility is internal security, observers claim that the group, which is regarded in Iran's most powerful military force, also helps the country's regular army, which is made up of over 350,000 men with foreign defense. The Revolutionary Army in the U.S. The Code Forces, we get into this later, a Revolutionary Guards organization in charge of overseas operation, was identified by the U.S. Treasury Department in 2007 as a supporter of terrorism, characterizing it as Iran's primary arm for executing its policy of supporting terrorism and insurgent groups. Following his election, U.S. President Donald Trump pulled out of Iran's nuclear agreement and proceeded to reign in the Tehran power in the Middle East by reinstating strict sanctions that were partly intended to reduce the Guard's influence. The Revolutionary Guards are viewed as a serious security concern by the U.S. allies in the region. And last year, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, and Last year, Bahrain and Saudi Arabia added the IRGC Revolutionary Guards as a major security threat, and Bahrain and Saudi Arabia added the IRGC to their terror lists last year. the IRGC, and the China's People Liberation Army. Although the People's Liberation of China and the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps emerged from the Chinese Civil War in 1949 and the Iranian Revolution in 1979, respectively, their formalities, functions, and influences differ greatly. Founded to protect the Islamic Republic, and the IRGC now has political, economic, regional sway throughout the Middle East, in addition to its military duties. On the other hand, the PLA, which is directly governed by the CCP, has conventional military structure and regional presence in the South China Sea, and its main objective is national defense. What is the Basij? The Basij, officially known as the Basij Resistance Force, is a paramilitary volunteer militia in Iran. It operates under the umbrella of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps and is affiliated with the Supreme Leader of Iran. The Basij was established during the early years of the Iranian Revolution in the 1980s and played a crucial role in supporting the new Islamic government. The Basij is distinct from the regular armed forces of the Iranian army and operates as a parallel force within its own command structure. Its role is deeply tied to the preservation of the ideals of the Islamic Revolution and the defense of the country against perceived internal and external threats. Who is part of the Basij? Khomeini encouraged civilian volunteers, many of whom were from impoverished rural backgrounds, to join the group and fight against the Iran-Iraq War. Approximately 75% of the populace were at the time Basijists. According to Khomeini, somebody's gonna correct me on that, who would sometimes refer to the Basij as the 20 million army, he would go on to explain that a nation with 20 million people serving in its army would be unbeatable. According to, I'm gonna butcher this, Akbar Hashami Rafaniji, wow, that's not good, Rafsanjani, the Basij was an independent organization until February 17th, 1981, where the Iranian parliament formally merged it into the Revolutionary Guards organization structure in order to stop the inter-service rivalry between the two. The importance of the Basij. As a foundation of the Iranian Revolution and a symbol of popular support since the Islamic Revolution, the Basij is extremely important. The Basij is extremely important, essential to maintaining internal security and population control. Wow! Population control? Yikes! It also acts as a military backup during times of crisis. The Basij increases Iran's influence, upholds revolutionary ideals, and changes Iranian society through cultural endeavors, intellectual influence, and geopolitical participation. It is an effective instrument for the administration. It is an effective instrument for the administration, serving in tandem with regular military forces as a symbol of support of the Islamic Republic and a way to deal with a variety of issues. What is the Quds Force? Quds? How do you even say that?
Quds Force.
I've confirmed it is pronounced Quds. What is the Quds Force? The Quds Force is a specialized branch of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps. It engages in unconventional warfare, military intelligence operations, and supports non-state actors in various countries. These actors include groups like Hezbollah, Hamas, the Palestinian Islamic... Oh, dude, I'm going to mispronounce all of these. Jihad, Yemen Huttites? Is that what it is? No, probably not. And the Shia militias. The Quds Force report directly to the Supreme Leader Anatola Khamenei operates globally and operates globally, making it a significant force in the region. I'm never allowed in Iran after I make this video. What is the purpose of the Quds Force? The key mission of the Quds Force of the Irani Revolutionary Guards is to defend the Irani Islamic Revolution and create armed militias in the countries of its axis of resistance. The axis of resistance is a network of autonomous militant Islamic groups through which Iran can project power, determine the course of events, and deter attacks by Israel, USA, Britain, and other Western states or countries that have deep connections with Western states.